asked you guys on last show, what do you want to know? What's your questions about the Brother ScanNCut? And man, did you guys have some questions. My name is Courtney Douthat. This is AllBrands After Hours. Let's do this. So last show I asked you, hey, put your questions down in the chat and I will answer them next week on the show. And again, you guys had a lot of questions and that is fantastic because that's the whole point of the show, is to answer your questions. So let's jump into the first question. Our first question is from Lisa. I love your videos. Thanks for teaching me so many tricks. I have a question for you. I scan in a pattern Funky Friends Factory and sometimes the pattern is not connected. I've tried welding it, but I get an error. Do you have a workaround for that? I have made several of the stuffed animals from the pattern company, and without the ScanNCut, I wouldn't have made one. It cuts all the pieces perfectly. It is a game changer. Lisa, it is absolutely a game changer. You are absolutely correct about that. I love cutting out my patterns with my Brother ScanNCut. Now, when I have a pattern that maybe has a gap in it and they're not connected, there are ways to do it in the ScanNCut, but they're kind of cumbersome in my opinion to do them on the machine. So usually what I do is I'll scan in my pattern and then I'll send it over to Brother Canvas. So when you scan in an option, it'll ask you, hey, where do you want to save this to? And you can save it to your machine, to your USB, or you can save it to Brother Canvas and send it right over. So usually I just save it to Brother Canvas and send it over there. So that way I can open it up and be able to change it and move it in different ways. So let's jump over to Brother Canvas and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And if you're unfamiliar with Brother Canvas, it is the free software that comes with your Brother ScanNCut. You do not have to pay anything for it and it's fantastic. All right, so we're gonna come over here to the side. We want to go to this icon, image tracing. You guys remember, whenever I did the color sort one, same concept, but instead of coming from my computer, I'm gonna come from my scanned images from my machine. Now, if you had saved it onto your computer, so the image onto your computer, and it wasn't a coloring book page you took out of a coloring book, then you could actually come here and take it from your computer. But I scanned mine in, so I wanna go to my images that I scanned. And there it is, how cool is that? All right, so I could make this bigger, larger, however I want to shrink it down. So we're going to not do trace outer, because you notice it's just tracing the out of that. So we're gonna go to trace area by color. There we go. And you see it catches all that, but you're like, Courtney, it's just black and white. That's fine. It's still gonna see all the images and that is a-okay. And if you ever notice like a piece of your design isn't catching, you can lower and up the color. So I'm gonna hit preview while I've just gone down to 2 colors. And you see how it cleaned it up around the mouth? That wasn't the best print out that I've ever done. The picture was kind of distorted. So doing that actually helped it not see all those colors and took them away. So fantastic. All right, it looks great. And I'm gonna deselect pasting the image onto the drawing area because I just want this. Let's hit okay. And there it is, how cool. Now, when I brought it in, I didn't have it all joined up together. So if we come over here to the side under layers, it's gonna show every little piece of it, how fantastic, which is great because if I wanted to say, click this right here and delete it out, then I could do that and it would be absolutely easy for me to do. How awesome is that? So usually what I do is I'm gonna select everything. So I just click and drag and that way I can resize all together. So I want my image, let's say about this big. There he is, very cute, très chic. All right, so we've got all of our pieces right here. Now Courtney, I'm noticing a few things. I wish that maybe the cupcake went all the way to the sides. Or maybe, hey, I don't like this outer layer that's going all around the cupcake. That's totally fine. You could select anything you want and take it out. So say you wanted just that or say you wanted this, you could absolutely do that, whatever you prefer. Oh, but Courtney, I didn't want to move that. There is an undo button over here at the side that will realign it for you. How awesome. All right, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna zoom in even further. Because I like to get real up close and personal with my designs because there's a thing that you can do called nodes. So if I was to triple click, you see how I put all those dots? I could actually tell it to extend out like that. Now Courtney, why are you doing that? Because I want to close that gap. Yeah, I want that to actually be like 3 different colors. So I think it'd be cool to close them all out and not have those gaps. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Now, you don't have to do this to your images, but I love the fact that Brother Canvas lets you be able to edit every little bit of it. It's fantastic. So roll out and see. Oh yeah, I just wanted to connect them, and so now I can do that color separate, and this color separate. How stinking cute. All right, looks great. I'm loving this. Now, Courtney, what if you wanted those lines to not be there? So let's say, let's scroll back in. What if you didn't want those black lines to be there and you wanted that to be one solid piece? You could absolutely do that. So what you would do is we'd select the nodes again. I want to open that node. So now it makes that little opening. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. There we go. And then I can bring these nodes down. This node across, like this node across. That way I can connect them. Like that. Now I can come around here and mess with it a little bit more and straighten it out if I want to, but that's just if you want to do some editing on it, you absolutely have that option to do it. So if you don't want to move these, to say I didn't want to move them, let's go back. Let's say I'm like, oh, I don't want to move those. Then I could actually come over here and just make a whole brand new line. Go boop, boop, like that. Go click, there we go, to get out of it. And then same here if I just wanted to make a straight line. Now, if you want to really go have some fun, you could tell it that you want to do a freestyle line like this, and it's just like coloring. The next question I have is from Sharon. Sharon said, any news on a 12 by 24 fabric mat? Sharon, I wish. Sharon, believe me, every time I see Brother, I'm like, guys, where's the 12 by 24 fabric mat? Currently, there is only a 12 by 12 fabric mat. There is not a 12 by 24 fabric mat, even though there is for scanning, for standard and low tech, but they have not done that yet. As soon as they have, I will be the one shouting it from the rooftops. Don't you worry. All right, the next question came from Jane. Jane said, how to fix my Wi-Fi for my ScanNCut. I had it and now it says no Wi-Fi and does not seem to want to connect. Absolutely, Jane. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up your Wi-Fi to start with, just from the beginning, starting it up. If you ever notice that the Wi-Fi suddenly doesn't show that it's on, give it a second, because sometimes the machine needs a moment to reboot itself. But if you're starting out just from scratch, you never put your Wi-Fi on, I'll show you how to do that. Also, make sure you're set to the latest update. If those two items don't work, then contact Brother Support, because they are fantastic and they'll be able to troubleshoot your machine with you. But let's go over how to set up your Wi-Fi just from the start. Alrighty, so when you turn her on, this cute little Brother icons pop up on the screen. So there we go. We're going to click the screen. And it's going to give you a thing that says the carriage will move in the initial position. Keep hands away from the carriage. It's just going to tell you that the roller is going to move a bit. So we're going to hit OK. All right, and then we come to our main screen. So what we want to do today is we want to set it up the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to come right up here to the top, and we're going to select that. Set up wireless LAN, or everyone LAN, or whatever you want to say it, settings. Wireless LAN, connection expands to creative worlds and service cloud. So there is actually a QR code that will walk you through it, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit OK. And then here we go. So we want to make sure that that is turned on, that WLAN is on. So we're going to turn it on, and then we're going to go to the setup wizard. So it's currently checking for internet. So we have ours. We're going to hit this one and hit OK. And then you're going to type in your password, whatever it is. Now, something I do want to remind you is that if your Wi-Fi password is upper or lowercase, it needs to be in here. So I know that mine is actually lowercase, so I'm going to select right here to make it into lowercase. If you needed to add a number, you could select here, or any kind of a extra character, you could go there. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to lowercase it, and now I'm going to type in my password. And yes. Now it's going to ask you next if you want to go ahead and set up your Canvas Workspace account if you haven't done that yet. But for the Wi-Fi part of it, you're done. You're good at this part. If you want to hit next and connect your Canvas Workspace account, I highly recommend it if you have not done it already. The next question we had was from Barbara. Barbara said, I have connected my ScanNCut to Canvas. When I tried to connect it to ArtSpira, it asked me for a code for the ScanNCut. I can't get back to the number I used for Canvas. Do I hit change, get a different code? And will I need to get a new pin for ArtSpira, as it has now been 3 to 4 days? So many different codes and pins. Absolutely agree with you, Barbara. So do not worry. You can always get those codes again. It's not like it's a one and done, and if you didn't write it down, you're in trouble. So I'll walk you through how to connect your machine and ArtSpira together, and you're a-okay. Alrighty, so we are in ArtSpira. Now, what we want to do is, oh my goodness, look how amazing all of this is. There is the ArtSpira Plus. Currently, I do have ArtSpira Plus, but that is a subscription. Again, remember we said it's additional. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but that is something available, and it does unlock additional features. Of course, the designs that have a little crown on them, that means that it's part of the subscription. Anytime you see the little crown, oh my goodness, look how cute all these projects are. There's so many of them. Now you'll notice some have the embroidery machine next to them, and some of them have a ScanNCut, and some of them have a printer if it is for the print moda. So we of course are going to look for those. Now if we come up to the top, of course there's embroidery designs, cutting designs, so that's the ScanNCut, and then printing design, sublimation, and all of those awesome things. Now, let's go ahead and let's connect our device. Now that we've created our account, let's connect our device. So up here at the top, you're going to see these little machines. We're going to click that. Now, as long as your ArtSpira and your ScanNCut are on the same Wi-Fi, they should be able to see each other. And if you notice, of course, I have a ton of ScanNCuts linked to my account, but there's also printers and embroidery machines. So to be able to register one, so I'm going to hit register. Oh, and I have the Mac, so I need to take some off. So I'm going to delete some of these guys out. All right, so I deleted one of them out. So I'm going to hit register, hit next. Oops, sorry. So it say, hey, turn your machine on, make sure the Wi-Fi is on, which she is, so I'm good. We're going to hit next. Machine registration settings. So we're going to come to the wrench icon. We're going to come down. There we go. And you got to go down for a little while. The machine registration. Now currently I do have my ID in there, so I don't actually have to do this because I linked my accounts. But if you didn't, you would hit change, or it would just be open, and then you could put that in there and then put the pin in there. Alrighty, and then we'd hit OK on our screen, and then we put in whatever code they gave us. Okay, hit OK, and we'd hit OK on our tablet. Okay, and by hitting OK, we're okay with all of these things, and I am. We're gonna hit OK, and it's gonna say processing. The machine register has been specified, so now it is registered, so we're gonna hit OK. All right, and there she goes. It's the same ID because it was the same one, but now it's on there, so that's good. Or on your account, you might have to log out, so go to settings, account, log out, and then come back in with your information and hit login. Because what's going to happen is that it just needs to, it's one of those turn it off and turn it back on things, and then it'll work. The next question is from Grammage. Question: what mat do you use when you have heat and bond light on the back of the fabric for applique? And what blade would you use? So I like to do it with fabric side down on a fabric mat with that heat and bond light on the back of that fabric, because I just like to adhere it on there. Now I know other people like to put the heat and bond light on there, take the paper backing off, and put it to a standard or a low tack mat. I've had not great experience with that, so I personally like to do it on a fabric mat to make sure that no heat and bond light gets stuck on my fabric mat. That is personal preference, but that's what I do, and I cut them out beautifully, both of them together. I might as well just save myself the step, so that's what I like to do. So I like fabric mat on with fabric side down on it, heat and bond light side up, so facing you, fabric side down on the mat on a fabric mat. And I personally like to either use the thin fabric blade or the rotary blade. Honestly, I always go for the rotary blade most of the time because it's fantastic. But if you're really weird about the idea of cutting through paper with your thin fabric, or with your rotary, with a blade in general, then I allot one, and that is just my blade, my thin fabric blade that I cut out my appliques with it when I know that there's going to have paper backing, and that's a-okay. Now, I did notice we had a ton of questions, a good many of them, just about applique and with your ScanNCut in general. Now, I have a few different videos on our YouTube page that are saved on there about how to do appliques, but it sounds like we need to do an updated one. So next week's video, we're going to be cutting out fabric, making an applique with our Brother ScanNCut. So make sure that you guys don't miss that video, because we are going to go in depth. I'm going to walk you through step by step. Well, I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, I'm sorry, there were so many. But maybe we can do a part 2 video. So let me know if you guys want that in the chat. Now, don't forget that the ScanNCut is available on our website, allbrands.com, and we truly appreciate when you guys do buy your machine through us, because it helps us continue this free education that we do. So thank you guys so much for everyone that purchases on our website or any of our 7 retail stores. Thank you so much. I'm going to Houston Cool Festival. I'll be in the Brother booth with AllBrands, of course, and we will be having so much fun on the machine. So if you have not planned your Houston Cool Festival trip, what are you doing? It's so much fun. So make sure you come see us at Houston Cool Festival. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more of these videos. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.